Hi, welcome to Joanna's DIY Life. On this channel, I love to do home decor on a budget. Today I'm going to be making this oversized ironing surface. I wanted one of these wool mats that quilters use because they are awesome for getting your wrinkles and creases out, but as you've seen, this one was 18 by 36 at $47. I don't think so. Let's get crafty and think of something. So I've got this plywood board that I got from a pallet that hauled some of our flooring in. And I want to use this as a surface because I have a moving blanket, which I thought was wool blanket, okay? I don't want to deceive y'all. It's not 100% wool, okay? But it is a miracle when I show you at the end. It is awesome. You can't wait to see this. But anyways, I've got this plywood and then there's the blanket, okay? If you've moved, maybe you've seen these. I don't know. But anyways, you can buy them on Amazon. Apparently they're made from jean recycled fabrics with wool. I don't even know, but whatever, it works. Now, my lighting is going to get a little weird and I don't know what happened here. But anyways, I am just going to take this and I am going to lay it out on my board. And I know I'm going to have to cut my board. So I'm going to lay my blanket out here and I'm going to figure out where I need to cut my board. Another reason why I'm doing this one is because it is shorter. When I'm using my iron, I tend to use steam. And when I'm using steam, I'm on that side right there and where my mat is. And if you get your cutting mats hot, or steam or whatnot, they will warp and they don't come out. You've ruined a $50 board and you know that's not what you want to do. So this one will be shorter so my steam will hit the table and not my board. Okay, so my color's coming back. I really don't know what happened, but anyway, as you can see right here, my blanket stops. You have to get all your layers, okay? You don't want to swoop down at any point. So I'm going to cut my blanket off even for one thing, but I'm also going to cut my board off. So I'm going to figure out where I need to cut my board and then I will cut that and you'll see what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my big ruler. This is a 40-something inch ruler. I got it at Harbor Freight and I love it. I don't use it very often, but when you need it, you need it. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, you don't see me and I apologize for that, but I'm measuring all this out to figure out where to cut. So I am back and my measurement up there was about 43, I think it was, somewhere around in there. So I'm just going to take my chalk and I am going to make a mark where I need to start cutting my blanket. And I'll tell you, you got to have some really good sharp scissors because this thing is thick and it is tough. I wouldn't suggest a rotary cutter because it's too thick and it just, unless you have a huge one, you know, it's not gonna work. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I am going to cut all the way up there after I measure it off and make another chalk line. Now that I have my blanket cut and it's all even, I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to draw a line. And this is not perfect, but I'll have where I start and stopped. And I'll just set that big ruler down there or yardstick or whatever you want to call the thing, and make my straight line. And then I am going to take a cordless skill saw. And y'all, I've never used a skill saw before. I was so darn nervous it wasn't funny, but I got it. This is what I used. I love this thing. And I'm just going to whip down this board, all right? I did it. I did it. It was so loud in my room, but I did it. And then I just used my Ladybug vac to vacuum up all of that sawdust. If you don't have one of these in your arsenal, you need one. I love it. I'm going to be adding foil under this. So before I take this blanket off, I am going to secure it with these clips that I got from the Dollar Tree. You can secure it with pins or whatever clips you have. You just want to make sure that this blanket does not shift when you lift it off to spray your wood surface, okay? So now I've got this Krylon Easy Tack. You can use any spray adhesive you want to. And I am going to carefully spray my board. Now you want to make sure you don't get any of this anywhere else. It got all over my hand and it was a booger to get off. But the reason I'm using spray is to adhere this for when I flip it over to put the fabric on it. And the reason that I always use aluminum foil on an ironing surface, especially if it's wood, is because when the steam goes through, it warps your board over time. And I make these to last, so that's why I put foil on it, because that protects your surface and it also brings the steam back up to you. So as you see, I am just putting my foil down and then I'm using a little soft squeegee to get all of the bubbles out. Not necessary. I just like it to look shiny and pretty. Now, it depends on how many runs you have because it depends on the size of the foil, the board, and everything else you have. So I am just going to put, mine took 3 layers, and all I'm going to do is make sure that this adheres down to my board. Okay, as you can see back there, I have the clipped blanket on the board, clipped to the board. I have this Waverly fabric that I got at Walmart. I know I have my room in Pioneer Woman fabric, but this fabric was a little slicker and smoother, and your fabric that you're ironing will glide better on this, whereas Pioneer Woman is kind of like a flannel and your fabric sticks to it. So you don't have, much pull. But before I put this on, I am going to iron it, okay? Then when I get it ironed, I will take my board off my table. I'm going to flip it this way, flip my board upside down on there. That's why I put my clips on the board as well. Once I get it on, I remove my clips and I'm going to use my Bosch stapler I got from Lowe's, and I am going to pull the fabric tight and I'm going to put staples, a lot of staples, because you don't want your fabric to rip. And when you do this, make sure that your blanket is on all your edges before you staple it down. If you want to, you could spray adhesive your blanket, but I didn't see the need because it's in layers and it's just going to come apart anyway. So the way I always staple stuff down is I staple one side from the middle to the edges, and then I go to the opposite side and pull the middle as tight as I can, and I'll staple that down and then start pulling down the sides tight and stapling that. You want to make sure that you pull your fabric tight because you can't see under there, and you want to make sure you have no wrinkles and no slack. You want a nice, tight ironing surface that's smooth, okay? So I'm going to do that all the way around. Now I have it, and to do the corners, I just pulled the middle up, folded one side over, folded the other side over. I hope that made sense. It's just a mitered corner with the fabric, and then I stapled it down. Now look, y'all, it is heavy, but it is so nice, and it's so beautiful. Now let me show you the magic of this, okay? Like I said, it's not all wool. I don't know why this works. I don't have any disclaimers on this at all, just so you know. This is just me doing this, okay? I'm not a pro. But I've got my iron on steam. This is muslin that is teetotally just wrinkled from washing and drying in the dryer, and then I didn't get it out of the dryer. So I'm ironing on my normal surface right there, and I'm fixing to iron this side. Now look at this. You don't have to go as hard. Look, I don't know what it is, but it's like magic. It's so satisfying to iron on this stinking thing because your wrinkles just like disappear. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm a weirdo sometimes anyways, but this is such an awesome surface. You can get wool blankets from Amazon and they're thinner. I have a link in my Amazon store for the wool mats. I'll put the blankets in there as well. But like I said, I am not going to be no disclaimer. All I know is I tested this with a bad iron before I ironed on the blanket itself. and it did not melt, it didn't burn, it didn't smell. You see the wrinkles with the other side, and the other side was clear. Now watch. I don't know why this amazes me so much, but I'm going to iron it all, and it even takes the wrinkles out that was from the other side, y'all. It's awesome, and I didn't have to pay a lot for it, and it's huge. I got to determine my size, not them. You know, more bang for your buck right here. Another good thing about this is it's not just a gray mat and ugly. I can customize it the way I want, and there is what your fabric looks like. Beautiful. There it is again, and I love it and couldn't be happier. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video, because you never know what I'm going to do, seriously. Remember, you are a blessing. Until next time, goodbye.